Hello, and welcome back to another Talking Freight, brought to you by Sarasys, the transportation management company. Learning the difference between third-party logistics, or 3PL, and fourth-party logistics, or 4PL, as well as 1PL and 2PL, and the rise of even fifth-party logistics, that's right, 5PLs, is both confusing and highly debated among those in the supply chain industry. So let's talk about and explain all of the layers of logistics. First, let's get on the same page. What is a 3PL? The Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals glossary defines both 3PL and 4PL, and is one I have found to be generally true across the board. The CSCMP defines 3PL as follows: outsourcing all or much of a company's logistics operations to a specialized company. The term 3PL was first used in the early 1970s to identify intermodal marketing companies, or IMCs, in transportation contracts. Up to that point, contracts for transportation had featured only two parties, the shipper and the carrier. When IMCs entered the picture as intermediaries that accepted shipments from the shippers and tendered them to the rail carriers, they became the third party to the contract, the 3PL. The definition has broadened to the point where these days, every company that offers some kind of logistics service for hire calls itself a 3PL. Preferably, these services are integrated or bundled together by the provider. Services they provide are transportation, warehousing, cross-docking, inventory management, packaging, and freight forwarding. In 2008, legislation passed declaring that the legal definition of a 3PL is a person who solely receives, holds, or otherwise transports a consumer product in the ordinary course of business, but who does not take title to the product. Third-party logistics providers are freight forwarders, courier companies, and other companies integrating and offering subcontracted logistics and transportation services. Next, you'll need to know what is a 4PL. Well, the CSCMP defines 4PL as follows. A 4PL differs from third-party logistics in the following ways. A 4PL organization is often a separate entity established as a joint venture or long-term contract between a primary client and one or more partners. A 4PL organization acts as a single interface between the client and multiple logistics service providers. All aspects, ideally, of the client's supply chain are managed by the 4PL organization, and it is possible for a major third-party logistics provider to form a 4PL organization within its existing structure. However, 4PL was originally defined by Accenture as a trademark in 1996 and defined as a supply chain integrator that assembles and manages the resources, capabilities, and technology of its own organization with those of complementary service providers to deliver a comprehensive supply chain solution. But that trademark is no longer registered, so feel free to use it. Now, 4PLs have also been referred to as lead logistics providers, or LLPs. Now, a new crop of companies has emerged who are actual transportation companies too. While a 4PL is sometimes described as a non-asset owning service provider, their role is to provide broader scope managing of the entire supply chain. Now, let's pivot. What about all these other PLs? In the PL terminology, it is important to differentiate the 3PL versus 4PL from the other logistics layers. And those are first-party logistics, a 1PL, are shippers. These are the cargo owners, which can be the shipper, such as a manufacturing firm delivering to customers, or the consignee, such as a retailer picking up a cargo from a supplier. Shippers dictate the origin, supply, the destination, demand, of the cargo, with distribution being an entirely internal process assumed by the firm. With globalization and the related outsourcing and offshoring of manufacturing, distribution services that used to be assumed internally tend to be contracted to external service providers. Second-party logistics, a 2PL, are carriers. 2PLs are the carriers that are providing a transport service over a specific segment of a transport chain. It could involve a maritime shipping company, a rail operator, or a trucking company that are hired to haul cargo from an origin, for example, a distribution center, to a destination, for example, a port terminal. Fifth-party logistics, a 5PL, are digital tech entities. Now, along comes the 5PL, who sometimes define themselves as broadening the scope further to e-business. Now, for a handy visual on the layers of logistics, let's look at this graphic that you see on your screen now. As you can see, the actors are on the left with shippers at the top. The services provided are featured on the left of the graphic. It's quite an ecosystem. In conclusion, you might question anything more elaborate than a third party providing logistics consultation or management, no matter how advanced or far-reaching their service might be. So are they still 3PLs who just invented a fancy title to set them apart from the competition? Or is there a real differentiation? The 4PL is neutral and will manage the entire logistics process, regardless of what carriers, forwarders, or warehouses are used. The 4PL can and will even manage 3PLs that the customer is currently using. Many 4PLs have addressed the huge requirements of electronic interface between numerous companies. This area is where it's difficult to define Ceresys as a 3PL or a 4PL. We are a non-asset logistics provider who provides technology and services focusing on over-the-road motor freight management, such as making sure shippers pick the correct freight class, specifically offering a TMS with services around carrier relationship and inbound freight programs. So loosely, we belong somewhere in between 3PL and 4PL. So what would you call us given that knowledge? And how would you define 3PL versus 4PL? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave some comments down in the section of comments below. Yes, where you place your comments, the comments section. Well, that's it for this week's Talking Freight. Thanks for joining us for another episode. We'll see you next week. Oh, hold up before you go. Make sure you click over here to subscribe to our channel. Click on this box to watch all the videos in the current Parcel Talking Freight series. And click up here to go to Ceresys.com. Scroll down and in the box, put in your email address and hit subscribe.